fine, 2-1 on aggregate. And then Ghana hammered Ethiopia 3-0 to qualify, 5-0 on aggregate. Now, let's see the 8 nations that will be part of the African Women's Championship in 2014 in Namibia. The host, Namibia, Nigeria, South Africa, Cote d'Ivoire, Senegal, Zambia, Cameroon, Algeria. That's it again. And Ghana. I think Ghana is missing from that list. There's also Ghana. Yes, 8 nations. Yeah. Namibia, Nigeria. Ghana is also on that list. 8 nations will be there in Namibia. And of course, you get to the final, you pick a ticket to represent Africa at the 2015 FIFA Women's Senior World Cup. So congratulations to the Falcons, but there's still a lot of work to do, and we wish them the best of luck. Let's talk about the under-20 girls very quickly. The Falconers also went to Ghana. They are playing friendly games, getting ready for the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup that will be taking place in Canada later this year. They played 2 friendlies. They won the first one and lost the second one. We talked about it on Friday. The first friendly that they played was a 2-1 win over the Ghanaians in Accra on Friday. But yesterday, they lost by 0-0 to Ghana. And
was it a penalty?
The girls are complaining that...
if it was a penalty, then I wouldn't play too much stock in the results. It's just the Ghanaians just trying to even the score.
That the Ghanaians were desperate to win that game, and that they put everything into it to get it. That's what Peter the Devil.
But the Falconers coach, was not impressed with
the 2-1 win. He was not impressed.
That was what he said after the game.
Yeah, so that they won, but he wasn't impressed.
Absolutely. So I think he has picked up
a few lessons
from this game, and that is, that is the essence of playing friendly games. If he can come back and try to plug the holes, play a couple of friendlies more before the World Cup, because immediately after the FIFA Senior World Cup, I think about 2 or 3 weeks after, the Under-20 Women's World Cup will start.
All right, so that's it for the women. Let's talk football now. Let's talk other sports now. Let's move away from football, and we're going to be starting off with the Minister of Sports and Cricket. The Honorable Minister of Sports, Dr. Tamunoda Nagogo, has been speaking about the need for the federal government to develop sport. And he says that the federal government will develop sports, not just football. Other sports will get attention. He was speaking about the cricket team. Let's sit back and hear what he had to say. And then we'll come back for more. Showing interest, not just in football, but in cricket as well. We'll listen to this and then come back for more on Sports Tonight.
Sports is an industry. Sports should not be segregated. We don't understand the rationale behind the argument that our sports are lesser than the rest of them. Today, as you know, you just told me that you were in India, you saw what is happening. For your information, cricket contributes over 40% to the Indian economy today.
I do not believe that there are lesser sports and there are greater sports. I believe that as government, we should do everything possible to garner as many laurels as we can in all possible aspects of sports. And cricket, of course, cannot be an exception. The era of discrimination and lack of recognition that you talked about, I want to tell you, will be over with me on the saddle as minister. And indeed, you must know that Mr. President also thinks that way.
That's good. Mr. President thinks that way, giving all sports equal attention. That's what Honorable Sports Minister Dr. Tamunoda Nagogo seems to be explaining at that event. Gentlemen, let's also move away and talk about the National Sports Festival. The organizers of the National Sports Festival, the Cross River State government, came to Lagos and are trying to tell us how well they are preparing to host the rest of the nation later this year at the National Sports Festival called the Centenary Games, Calabar 2014. And they spoke to a lot of people. Governor Leon Imoke was there. He had a few things to say. As you sit back, listen to what he had to say about how well they're getting ready and how they want support from the public and the private sector. We'll take a listen. We'll come back for more on Sports Tonight.
At the sporting event.
First, the LOC, the government of Cross River State, they promised us a very good festival, and I've been there severally, and I can attest to that by the way they are preparing, by the structures they put on ground, and the seriousness the governor put into it. I know we're going to have the best of National Sports Festival this year.
Well, I think for us, we're particular about the welfare of the athletes. We're particular about making sure that the processes are made easier. We're particular about security to ensure the safety of participants and all the visitors to the state. We already have a reputation as being the safest state in the country. So for us, these are all things that we are paying particular attention to, in addition to making sure that we provide first-class sporting facilities.
So I'm using this opportunity to appeal to the private sector to please come in whichever shape or form they can, in cash or kind. Anything you have will go a long way.
All right, so preparations for the National Sports Festival in top gear. I'm sure that Calabar will put up a fantastic show. For those who have been to Calabar before, you know they are perfect hosts, don't you?
Yeah, the sights and sounds. Like, used to say.
Why are you emphasizing on the sights and sounds?
And the climate.
It's the national sports.
The green environment.
It's a very neat city, no doubt. Very neat
place
city.
that you would love to be.
All right, so let's keep our fingers crossed and see what comes out of it. Let's talk wrestling very quickly before we go on a break and talk about the Commonwealth Games that will be taking place in Scotland later this year. 18 wrestlers will be representing Team Nigeria at the 2014 Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, Scotland. And those successful wrestlers include Soso Tamara, Blessing Oburududu, Daniel Amas, Clarkson Sampson, Boaz Isaac, and Adibo Dick. The president of the Nigerian Wrestling Federation, of course, Olympic gold medalist himself, Daniel Igali, says that the second Edwin Clark Wrestling Championship held over the weekend in Warri Delta State provided a platform to pick some of these outstanding athletes. Camping will begin, gentlemen, in Yenagoa in July. At the last Commonwealth Games, is either you had a Nigerian wrestler in the final, a Nigerian wrestler winning a medal. It was so good for wrestling at the last Commonwealth Games. It should even be better this time.
Yeah, Igali was so objective when he took over, even as a technical director before he became the president. The president of that. He was looking at a 4-year period, and we got close at the last Commonwealth Games. So hopefully, these wrestlers should be able to win some medals at these Commonwealth Games and ahead of the Olympic Games in Rio.
Tunde, these guys are, these are Bayelsa guys, man. The home of wrestling.
Well,
the slogan should be the home of wrestling, Bayelsa.
all I can say is that, like when you said, Daniel Igali came in with a clear mandate, and I think this is about time for that mandate to come to full maturity. He gave a 4-year program. This will be the 4th year of that program. So, and going by what we've seen so far at the last Commonwealth Games, we've not had too many local championships over the past few years. So I've been wondering just how competitive these athletes are. And the fact that they won't start camping in July for a tournament that starts on the 28th of July itself is also slightly questionable. But then there's always the issue of funds, the issue of logistics as well. There's only so much that they can do. And in all honesty, they've been Daniel Gali and his team have been doing a tremendous job trying to keep this wrestling program afloat. And I'm just hoping that they can just, if they any medal they win at the Commonwealth Games will be just justification for all their efforts, and on that they can build for the Rio Olympics in 2016, like Oyin said. I'm just hoping that any kind of medal they win, whatever the color, would be an impetus to add more funding to ensure that they get proper facilities and support so that they can actually go for bigger medals at the Olympic Games.
All right, let's close the segment with a little bit of badminton. We talked about the Lagos Badminton International Classics that got concluded over the weekend. It was good for Nigeria in the doubles, although Israel and Italy claimed titles in the singles event. But for Nigeria, the lesson is that, look, we can rub shoulders with the best. We can stop the dominance of South Africa. Nigerian athletes, Nigerian badminton players can also come good when the occasion calls for it. Good one for the Badminton Federation.
Yeah, Tony, I'm so happy with what